Lesson 51 is about rounding decimal numbers, and the first problem that we have is a word problem. Follow along carefully as I read aloud. Dan wanted to buy a tape for $6.89. The sales tax rate was 8%. He knew 8% equaled the decimal 0.08. To figure the amount of sales tax, he multiplied $6.89 by the sales tax rate of 0.08. What did he find was the total sales tax? Now, in this question, we know we're multiplying decimals. We know how to multiply decimals. We can set this problem up of $6.89. We can leave the dollar symbol off for now. We'll put it on in the end. Times 0.08. Let's go ahead and find out what the total sales tax was by doing the multiplication that Dan did. We've got 8 times 9, that's going to give us 72. And carry the 7. 8 times 8, that's 64. Plus 7 is going to give us 71. Carry the 7. 8 times 6 is 48. And we're going to add 7 more. 48 plus 7 more. Say that answer out loud. Must be 55. So we've got 5,512. But we know that's too big. We've got to move that decimal over. We've moved it over once, twice in our top factor. Once, twice in our bottom factor. We add the factors up. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 times we move the decimal. So we're going to have to move it back an equal amount of times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we get an answer of, I'm going to put the 0 placeholder in front in the 1 spot, 0.5512. That's the right answer for this problem. But we know when we talk about money and cents specifically, we can only have hundredths of a cent. So this question is asking us, is it closer to 55 cents or is it closer to 56 cents? Look at that number. Is 0.5512 closer to 55 cents or 56 cents? Well, it must be closer to 55 cents because the 1 is less than 5. So it must be nearer to the 55 cents than it would be to the 56 cents. So we've got our answer. We need to have a dollar sign in there, 55 cents, and we're all done with our first question. Now the next question, another word problem. Sheila pulled into the gas station and filled the car's gas tank with 10.381 gallons of gas. Round that amount to the nearest tenth of a gallon. So if we want to round it to the nearest tenth of a gallon, 10.381, we're going to draw out a quick number line here because number lines can be very helpful when we're solving these problems. We're going to call this, it's a number line, so it should have heads of the arrows on it. We're going to call this the 10. We'll call this the 11 for gallons of gas, and we're going to break it up in half. And we're going to call this 10 and a half, or 10.5. Now 10.381 gallons of gas, 10.381. That must fall right over here. Okay, 10.381. We can see that's closer to 10 than it is to 11 because it's closer to 10 than it is to 11 on our number line. But in this problem, it asks us to round to the nearest tenth of a gallon. So, is this going to be closer to 10.3 or 10.4? If we put those numbers into our number line, we've got 10.3, call this one 10 and 3/10, or 10.3, and this one is going to be 10 and 4/10, or 10.4. Which one is that closer to? It's got to be closer to 10 and 4/10, or 10.4. We can see our dot landed much closer to that. So 10.4 would be our final answer. Using a number line can be very helpful. Just sketching one out like I've done will help us to find out what the right answer would be. Now the next problem says to estimate the product of 6.85 and 4.2, or we could say 6 and 85 hundredths and 4 and 2/10, by rounding the numbers to the nearest whole number before multiplying. Now this is a very good way to find an approximate answer. So 6.85, is that closer to 6 or is that closer to 7? Hopefully you said 7. 4.2, is that closer to 4 or is that closer to 5? Think of a number line. Hopefully you said 4, because it's closer to 4 on a number line than it would be to 5. Now the problem becomes very easy. One of the benefits of estimating products is that we can round the decimal numbers and we can have easy things, easy factors to multiply. 7 times 4, 7 parentheses 4 means multiplication, 7 times 4 is equal to 28. We've got our estimated answer, and we're all done with this question. Read the directions carefully, because if it says estimate by rounding before multiplying, this is all you have to do. You didn't have to multiply 6.85 by 4.2. Multiply 7 times 4. We'll go through lesson practice together during our next class, pages 276 to 277. Make sure you've got your notes completed, and have a nice afternoon.